welcome back to this video. I'm just going to jump straight into it. I'm going to be talking about animation in Procreate. So to start things off, we're going to go up to the spanner, go to Canvas and turn on Animation Assist. What this is going to do is going to open up your timeline down here. As you can see, I already have 2 layers. You can pick between these 2 layers by clicking on the timeline or clicking on the layers. In Procreate, the way it works is that each layer is a frame. For example, this is my paper texture. I want this to be the background of my animation. In order to do that, I need to make sure that it's visible. I'll click on it on the timeline and I'll set it to background. So now this is going to be the background to every single one of my frames. Layer and frame means the same thing, so I'm probably going to be using them interchangeably. So I'm going to be doing a very basic animation here, which is this eye opening and closing. So I am going to add a new frame, and as you can see, that adds another frame down here. And I'm going to draw in the next part of the animation. And now that I've done that, you can see the onion skins. So onion skins are a lower opacity version of the frame that you just drew. If you want to change this so that you can only see the frame that you just drew, you go to settings, and here you can change the onion skins. If you set it to 1, you get to see the layer or the frame that was previously done. 2 is the last 2, so I like to set it to 1 because I get confused. You can also play around with the opacity and the frames per second, which I will show you in a second. Before I do that, I'm just going to finish off this animation by doing the last few frames. There's going to be 4. Now, if I hit play, this is what it looks like. Obviously, it's a bit too fast, so if I could turn this up and it goes super fast, or I can turn it down. I normally animate between 4 to 6 frames per second, so I'm going to just leave it at maybe 4. No, 5. Now here, loop means that it's just going to go forever. It's just going to loop. I don't know how else to say it. Ping pong means it's going to go from the first frame to the last frame back to the first frame. One shot means it's just going to play and stop. It's just going to play and stop. For this, I'm going to set it to ping pong so that the eye looks like it's opening and closing. Let's just say we wanted to color this in. If we wanted to color in this frame, we need to group the layers. When there are 2 layers in the one group, Procreate recognizes it as a single layer. So now we can see the eye is colored in on that one frame. So we're going to do that for all of them. Something to take note of in Procreate is that you cannot have multiple layers. So for example, if I wanted to add in a shadow using the multiply layer, it doesn't really work, because in a Procreate group, all of the layers are considered one layer mode, which is normal. If I was to take this outside, you can see that that's what multiply is supposed to look like. But when I slip that back into the thing, it changes it to a normal layer mode. You do need to keep that in mind if you're going to be animating with multiple layer types. So in order to export your animation, we go to the spanner, share. If you're sharing it as a GIF, this is the screen that comes up. Here you can play with your frames per second again. I don't really know what these mean. I don't really touch them. Web ready just means that it's it compresses it a little bit. If you're looking to share it as a video, share it as an MP4, which is what I normally do. I normally share it as an MP4. That's pretty much the basics of animating in Procreate. I wouldn't say it's the best animation tool for complex things. This is just an example of a more complicated frame by frame animation that I did for Halloween. I'll just let it play here. You can see it's drawn frame by frame, and it's quite long. I think it's like 80 layers or something. And it was pretty easy to animate this. Like, it is fairly simple to do things like this. For example, here I have my logo at the top. If you want to do that, you need to add in a separate layer at the very, very top with your logo. Swipe to it on the timeline and you can turn on foreground. For more complicated things like this, I won't even call it complicated. As you can see, it's basically just lighting added on top of an illustration. What I would recommend doing, turning off animation assist. So this is my illustration. Make a group and title it frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, and animate each individual thing. For example, this is hard light, and then I animated it in here in layer 2, layer 3, and you just make your animation as an illustration. It's kind of hard to explain. The reason that I do it like this is because here we can see all of the layers show up as they should. The add layer looks like that and the hard light layer looks like this. They don't look the same because they're two different layer modes. But if I turn on animation assist, look at the difference in the layer mode. Because all of the layer modes get flattened into one of these. I'm pretty sure it's normal, I think. So that's why I animate as illustrations, if that makes sense. It looks like I animated it. So if you're going to be doing more complex things like this, which have multiple layer types, you have a multiply layer, you have an overlay layer, etc., etc., I would recommend just doing it in Procreate and creating a group per frame, exporting it as a PNG, and then bringing it in here, using your PNGs as a frame. And that's pretty much how you animate in Procreate. I hope this video was helpful. Congratulations on making it to the end. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope I enjoyed editing. Don't forget to follow me on social media, which will be listed at the end of the video, which is now. Bye.